The sky over the Pacific had seen countless battles, but none carried the strange mix of arrogance, laughter, and disbelief that surrounded the American P-38 Lightning before the Battle of Midway. They laughed at its shape, its weight, its design, and what they believed was its clumsy handling. And how a single day, a single strike, and a single squadron changed the reputation of the P-38 Lightning forever. Before Midway, the Japanese Imperial Navy believed it dominated the skies. They had reason to believe it after all. The Zero had outmaneuvered nearly every early Allied aircraft. Reports of dogfights almost always told the same tale. Zeros dancing through the clouds, carving arcs around slower, heavier aircraft. And when Japanese pilots first spotted the P-38 Lightning on long-range patrols, their reaction was instant and predictable laughter. Some pilots compared its twin booms to a flying crutch. Others said it looked like a confused crane trying to balance its wings. Saburo Sakai, one of the most famous Japanese aces, reportedly joked that the P-38 looked like two aircraft glued together by a drunk mechanic. And at first glance, who could blame them? The P-38 wasn't sleek like the Zero. It wasn't curved, elegant, or minimal. It was aggressive, sharp angles, long wings, two engines, a cockpit riding on a thin central pod. The kind of fighter that didn't look natural to the eye of a pilot, raised on maneuverability and tradition. But that strange shape carried power the Japanese pilots would soon encounter in the most devastating way possible. On a calm June morning, high above the distant Pacific horizon, a storm was forming. McGuire's men had studied Japanese tactics. They knew the Zero pilots loved turning fights. They knew the Zero pilots relied on confidence. They mentioned the strange American twin-tailed aircraft approaching. One pilot joked that they should let the P-38s come close. Maybe they would fall apart under their own weight. Moments later, that laughter would vanish. As the American formation approached the Japanese carriers, a cloud bank shielded the P-38 squadron from view. They disappeared into the mist, leaving Japanese observers momentarily confused. But then, like thunder erupting from the heavens, the P-38s came diving down almost vertically, engines screaming, sunlight blazing behind them. Their speed was monstrous, far beyond what Japanese pilots believed possible for a twin-engine fighter. The first P-38 rounds hit the deck of the carrier Soryu before the alarm sirens even sounded. Explosions ripped across the wooden flight deck as bombs, fuel tanks, and aircraft ignited in a chain reaction of fire and chaos. Zero pilots who had been joking minutes earlier now sprinted in panic. Some didn't even reach their cockpits before the second wave hit. Tom McGuire's squadron split into pairs, each pair diving and climbing in coordinated strikes designed to overwhelm the carrier defense crews. The P-38's nose-mounted cannons and machine guns delivered precise, brutal fire. Another pilot described the P-38's dive attack as a silent hammer falling from the sun. The confidence that carried the Japanese Navy through 6 months of victories had evaporated in a single day. And deep inside the Japanese command tent, the tone of the reports changed. Replaced by warnings, urgency, fear. One intelligence officer wrote, "This aircraft must be studied. It is unlike anything we have faced." Another report described the P-38 simply as the fork-tailed devil. That nickname spread fast. The psychological effect was enormous. Pilots who had once felt invincible now scanned the skies nervously, waiting for the shape of a twin-boom silhouette to appear against the sun. They had learned the hard way that mocking an aircraft meant nothing on the battlefield. The P-38's performance during Midway became legendary. It shifted momentum. It shattered confidence. It proved that speed, technology, and new tactics could overcome even the most respected enemy fighters. This is why the story continues to echo through history. Not just as a tale of machines, but as a lesson in the danger of underestimating your opponent. Because that day, above the Pacific, the laughter died, and in its place came respect and fear.